Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back on the YouTube account and we are back from vacation and we want to look at the Abyssal Expedition and the issues that we have going on right now. So if you're in the Abyssal Expedition like I am, it's been a couple days. We've already taken down the boss once. We're right on the verge of taking down the boss a second time. But you'll notice there is a big problem, and the problem is really the spatial difference between essentially the guilds that have the Awakened version or the Draconic version of Gwen and those guilds that do not. Now, of course, there was a post that came over on from Adventure Run, which most of you know that I was with Adventure Run for a while. Now I'm with Adventure Walk, kind of the other game, taking it a little bit slower. But as you can see, we've killed them twice. And if you have the Draconic version of Gwen, it is absolutely broken. And I'm hoping, we know as of right now, this is the beta version. That means there can be a lot of adjustments, there can be a lot of changes, and there needs to be a change to that Draconic version of Gwen because she is doing 2x, 3x, 4x the amount of damage that other comps are doing. So it is the whales that possess a fully maxed out Gwen and the other players that essentially don't have Gwen built. Like I don't have Gwen even at ascended at this point. So unfortunately, I cannot do the damage. So let's hop over to Discord, or excuse me, over to Reddit, and let's check out this post. All right, guys, so here is the post from 2 days ago, which again, this was from Adventure Run. Subjugetta. Overall, this is the broken problem. This is the problem we're seeing with AE. And again, this is the beta version. So we are giving them the alternative, or really giving them the ability to go ahead and run and change this comp. And what is the comp? So what is the post really about? As you can see, it is about the AE boss comp below. It's a great comp with the utilization of Gwen. Now, of course, if you don't have Gwen, without it, you can optimize a couple different teams, but if you have Gwen, they're going up to 80 billion damage, which we have, I don't think, ever seen in the last sequential Abyssal Expeditions. We have not seen 80 billion damage, and no, it is not a bug. It is legit damage, as you can see below. All the units are giving a buff to her within the few seconds of battle. Then she ults and deals 1 mega hit. So this is coming from 1 mega hit, which again is just kind of crazy to think. Not a bug, kind of a loophole like they kind of explain here, but it's kind of crazy because of course, this is either, you can see right here, this is 44 billion. This is 80 billion plus when it comes to the damage. And of course, this isn't kind of intentional, but based on the build, it is the whales or the larger players that have that Draconic version of Gwen, and of course the ones that do not. So looking down here, the first reason is the amount of damage, and this was essentially what Belinda said. Now, if you're familiar, Belinda is over on Facebook. It says the first reason the huge amount of damage Gwen deals to the AoE boss is the many stacked buffs before the Shattering Arrow, not including or limited to Rosalind's ult effect, artifact effect, shared allies, crit rate, other heroes, and pets. So literally, we are seeing the compounding effect of the damage that Gwen is doing in here, which is kind of crazy. And then, of course, the furniture. Second reason is the boss's defense and damage reduction attribute is low due to not being in a high state of enrage when she casts the Shattering Arrow. So again, we are seeing 80 billion damage right off of the bat, which again is kind of crazy. So what's the problem? There's nothing like her. And that is where the problem lies. Now, we've seen this again a while ago when we had the issues with the Awakened version of Belinda. They ended up dealing out actually a frame to everybody. I think it might have been like season 7, might be a little bit off in the season. But again, there was one single comp of those players who had that Awakened version of Belinda, those players who did not have that Awakened version of Belinda. And if you did not have them, of course, unfortunately, you couldn't compete on any level at all if you wanted to score in that top 100, not alone the top 10 or the top 1. And also, it comes down to money. When you look at the Dragon insignias right here, the DG for short, they are ultra limited, and there are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars that you have to spend at this point of the game, because of course, you're not getting those free copies of Gwen, you're getting the free copies of Hilduin, so unfortunately, that is making a big difference. And of course, when it goes to the rates, the 65 or the pity pools is almost always, which I have seen the exact same if you go back through all my videos, where we have actually summoned for Gwen. So you can see 5 times 15 times 15, that's $1,125 to build the hero out, which again is kind of insane to get that Ascended plus the 1 star. Even if you went in there and built out everything, or if you're just literally buying it, you're spending over $1,000 with the insignias just to get the hero itself. Yes, it is buy into play competitive with the Abyssal Expedition, which again is kind of crazy, but it's a little too whale for most people, which unfortunately I know that's what we've seen a lot of it going. Even here, AE season, we had to buy REM before the free to play release. So AE season 9 was the same. And of course, again, thinking back when we had the awakened version of Belinda would be kind of broken. So the possible solution, so what could we do in here? Nerfing Gwen in the AE, which again, that could make a difference, kind of almost taking the comp out or capping how much damage that she can do within there. Because of course, when you start putting relics behind it, then it is massively, massively overpowered. Give a one-time massive amount of, emblems, which I doubt that that would do it at all. Most players would love it, but of course, I don't see it happening. Add a significantly more substantial DG income, which again, I like that solution as well. But when it comes to the Abyssal Expedition, they would have to do it before the next AE is out, meaning that everyone would have an opportunity to build, even free-to-play players, essentially an ascended 1-star. That way we can engrave the hero. And then of course, once the Ascension switches to Stargazers for stars like the Awakened heroes, may not sound like much, but needing 3 less copies of the Highborns is massive. Now, of course, I don't believe this is the case either. I believe the heroes still do remain within the Dragon Forge, that you have to get the items out of there, and also being able to summon them themselves. So yeah, there's a couple different ones. And I think overall the easiest, probably the cleanest way to honestly do this would probably be to just nerf her in this battle, or do something that she's not allowed to be used. And again, when you think of the top guilds, so let's say the top 50 guilds, you're going to have the numbers skewed greatly when it comes to this, simply because the players that do have and have spent money on the Awakened version of Gwen, and the players that have not spent any money at all in Gwen, that is going to make a big, big game changer. And of course, when it comes, competitive AE will become a whale down clown show. Gwen is too OP, needs a ton of dragon insignias, which are too expensive. Mass Exodus, which I know is effectively already killing the game. We've seen it with collections. We've seen it with a couple other ones. And then, of course, I definitely wanted to give some feedback. In my opinion on this, guys, is when there's a problem that is fundamentally wrong with the game, that's when it needs to be adjusted. That's when it does need to be changed. That's when it does need to be a little bit different, because it's going to be the players that do have the Awakened version, or excuse me, the Draconic version of Gwen, and those that do not at all, which of course is going to make a huge difference if you're dropping a ton of money to get it versus having that one at all. So guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.